Welcome to the Soul Work, a weekly show where we look at a strategy, a process, a tool, a technique, or a thought for your spiritual growth. If you're joining us for the very first time on the Soul Work, welcome, you're most welcome. Let me introduce myself. My name is Gina, I'm a spiritual teacher, creator of Soul Quest, and the LGBTQ advocate within the spiritual world. In this episode, I want to talk to you about the environment and sustainability. The environment and sustainability is a topic that's really close to my heart, and I may get emotional in this video. I just want you to be aware of that. I want to begin by talking to you about this. A plastic bag. We all have them, we've all used them. They're great. They hold you shopping, they make your life a lot easier. Why do I want to talk to you about plastic bags? I want to take you back. Turtles. I don't know where it's come from. I've no idea, but I have this really deep connection to turtles. I love to see them swimming in the ocean. I want to go and be in their natural habitat with them. I just love them. I don't know what it is about them. I just feel so drawn to turtles. So what have turtles got to do with a plastic bag? Well, imagine that this plastic bag is in the ocean. Turtles eat jellyfish. Plastic bags in the ocean act like a jellyfish would. They look very similar to turtles. So turtles go up to a plastic bag and they eat it because they think it's a jellyfish. And then what happens? It goes into the turtle, it goes into the stomach, and it stays there. It doesn't go anywhere, it just stays in the stomach. And these things, these plastic bags, they're actually killing our turtles. And that feels so devastating to know that. Recently I watched a film. The film's called Plastic Ocean. And in Plastic Ocean, it really opens your eyes. These things, plastic bottles, we drink from them, right? We have a drink. We discard of them, and then what happens to them? Well, some of them go to landfill, some of them go to recycling centres. It depends on, how your local council deal with the waste. But also what happens to some of them is they get in the waterways and they end up being washed out into the oceans. On Plastic Ocean, it's a feature film, it's a feature documentary film. It's absolutely outstanding. If you haven't watched it, please watch it. I'll put a link in the box below. I was astounded by what I was seeing. And let me describe to you what I was seeing. So the guy that is the narrator, the guy that produced the film, he had a big thing about whales. He wanted to go out and study whales, he wanted to be with them, he wanted to, be in their environment. And what he found when he was researching them and actually filming with them was that there was plastic in the ocean. And he was quite upset by that and frustrated, obviously. And he decided to delve into it a little bit more, and he travelled around the world looking at all the different oceans. And what he found was that these things, plastic bottles, single-use plastic items that we have, and plastic bags like this, they were all ending up in the oceans. And he found them in 3 different places. One was bobbing around on the surface. The second was, and this is probably the most dangerous actually, is where the plastic has degraded. Now it doesn't fully degrade. It goes into what is called microplastics, which is tiny bits of plastic. The sun and the ocean waves, it breaks it down to a point where there's still plastic there, it's never going to disappear, but it floats on the surface in tiny pieces. And it floats on the surface, but also, I think it's about 1 metre on the top of the ocean. That's how deep it is. And he saw that, and he trawled for it, and he pulled out certain elements of it, and he showed you on camera what is actually in that layer on the top of the oceans. And then he sent a submarine or a vessel down to the deep ocean floor. And he went down into the pitch black and all of that, as you see it on TV. He went into the pitch black, and on the very bottom of the trenches, we're talking the trenches, the deepest part of the oceans, guess what you could see? These. Now, the animals aren't putting them there. They're getting there because we are discarding of them. We've got a very single-use mindset when it comes to objects and utensils and anything that we use in our life. And what's happening? The throwaway society is throwing these away, and they're ending up in our oceans. And when they end up in the oceans, they're harming not only turtles, but all of the marine life, even birds. And that was one of the most disturbing images that I saw on the film, which was where there was, I think it was an albatross, and it was decomposing on the floor. Naturally, it was naturally decomposing, and what you could see in the stomach was all of the plastic that it had ingested. All the little microplastics that it had picked up off the top of the ocean, eaten, probably regurgitated to its chicks. So the chicks are eating it as well. And in that stomach, what you could see was masses of plastic. And what happens is the marine life, it eats the plastic, it ingests the plastic, and it sits there in its stomach. And what that means is it starves. It can't get any normal food in because there's just no room for it. And what that means is that they're dying. We are killing the sea life. And so I watched this film. I watched Plastic Ocean. It had a really deep impact on me. And I did a lot of research. I did a lot of watching of other things. I wanted to know more about it. I wanted to know if what I was seeing was true. I wanted to really understand what impact we're actually having on the environment. And I posted on social media. I posted about the film that I'd watched and the impact it was having, and I asked for some help. I asked for people to let me know where the beaches in the UK where they've seen litter and pollution, because I want to go there. I want to go and help to clean it up. And I posted that question, and I was quite astounded by the response. I had no response. Something that is really big, something that is a massive issue in the world, and I had no likes, no comments, nothing. Yet I then posted a picture of my cat, and I posted a picture of food. Guess what happened? The amount of likes and comments on that was outstanding. And it got me thinking about social media. What is it with social media? You post things like cats and food, people love it, and then you post about the things that really matter, the things that we can drive change on, the things that that we're really passionate about and we want to do something about and we want to make a change in the world. And what happens? Nothing. Nobody responds. What is it with social media? Social media is such a fantastic platform. How many people do you know that are on social media? You're probably watching this right now on social media. It's a platform that we can use for good and healing in the world. I've often seen videos of humans saving seals, saving turtles, saving, whales and dolphins and all those kind of animals that have been caught up in our rubbish, our litter, the litter that we are putting into the ocean. And I see these videos and I think, oh, that's lovely. They're saving them. And those videos go viral. It's heartwarming tale of man saving animals. But the bit that you don't see is the ocean is huge. It's absolutely massive. It's practically the whole of our planet. And the ocean is so essential to us to live. I don't live near the ocean. I would love to, but I don't. But what I know is that ocean is giving me the oxygen that I need, and it's processing all the gases that are helping us to survive. The ocean is a vital part of our lives, whether you live near it or not. And what we don't see on social media are the animals that are out there that are suffering, that we don't get to, that we don't see, the ones that are underwater that have ingested all of this stuff that we're putting in there. And they're dying a slow and painful death. And we don't see that on social media, but we see these heartwarming tales that everybody spreads around the world about one man saving one animal. And that's just crazy. That is just totally crazy. They are ingesting our plastic waste. We are filling their tummies, their stomachs with plastic. And then they're feeding their babies, their chicks or, whoever it is that's ingesting it. They're found dead with their stomachs full. Just like I saw on that image on the plastic ocean video. They're dying because the plastic is getting lodged, it's getting stuck, they don't process it, and then there's no space for them to get proper food in, and they're starving. And we are doing that to them. I don't know about you, but I want this to change. I don't want to see our pollution killing the sea life. The plastic and the litter, it floats in the ocean forevermore. All of the things that go into the ocean, they do not get removed, they do not get taken out, they do not degrade fully. Plastic does not degrade, you need to know that. So when you're drinking from one of these things and when you're using one of these plastic bags, over years what you'll see is it'll break down into little particles, but it will never ever disappear. And I feel like we've got a responsibility to do something about this. I'm on a mission. From seeing all of this stuff, from doing all the research, I'm on a mission. And it's a pretty big mission, to be perfectly honest with you. It's a mission to raise 100 million to clean up the oceans. And some people have listened to me say that and gone, whoa, that's pretty big. And yes, it is pretty big. But if we don't stand up and say, this is what I want to do, and ask for help, ask for people to help us with it, then we're never going to make any changes in the world. That's my mission. That's what I want to do. And as part of that mission, what I'm looking for are change makers. I'm looking for people who want to make a difference within the environment, whether it be in the ocean and plastic pollution or something different. I want to work with those people that have the passion to do something about this. And there's kind of two elements to the work that I want to do with you. The first one is about doing the soul work. It's what I call the soul work, which is about you working on yourself, you working on your confidence, your self-belief, your self-esteem and your self-worth, so you can know that you can go out there and make an impact. Because, I could go, I want to raise 100 million and think, well, how am I going to do that? And then my ego takes over and I don't do it. And I know that's probably true for a lot of you out there that are thinking that you want to make a change in the world. So I want to work with you on that. I want to work on those beliefs that are stopping you from going forwards and doing these amazing things that are going to make a huge difference in the world. So that's the first thing. I want to do the soul work with you. I want you to work with me to get that confidence and to know that you can do this, because you can. The only limit that we put on ourselves is from us. It's coming from up here. And if we can work on that, then you know that you can go out there and make that change. So I want to work with you on the soul work. And then the second thing is, I want to work with you on figuring out what it is that you want to make an impact on. What is your sole purpose? What is it that you're here to do? Mine is about cleaning up the oceans, but I want to know what it is that's really driving you. What do you feel passionate about? So we'll work on the soul work, the soul purpose, and we'll figure out what it is that you want to make a difference in. And once we've figured out that, we'll then help you to figure out your voice, find your voice in that area, because often we have these things that we want to work on, but we don't know how to vocalize it, and we don't know how to say these things to other people. So we'll find your voice and we'll work on that. And as part of that, once you've figured out what that sole purpose is, then we'll go out there, and I'm going to meet you in 3 different countries over 6 months. 3 different countries where we do some environmental work and sustainability work. So once you've identified that area that you want to work on, I'm going to take you to 3 different countries and we're going to work on it, and we're going to do some research, and we're going to find out what impact that you can make. You're going to educate yourself on that visit, on those 3 visits, but you're also going to do some environmental work in the area that you want to work on. And the idea behind this is that by working with change makers, you're going to have the confidence, the knowledge and the skills to go out there and lead your own environmental project. So this isn't about me teaching you, this is about me working with you so you can get your voice, so you can find out what difference you want to make, and then you'll go out there and make that difference in the world. It's like a ripple effect. That's what I want from this. I can't work with every single change maker in the world on their own to make a difference. we need to ripple this out and get more people involved. And that's what I intend to do with my work. So this mission to raise 100 million to clean up the oceans, that's what I want to do, and I want to work with change makers on this. I'll put a link in the box below, and if you're interested, or if you know somebody that would be interested, please share it, because I want to work with these people and I want to make a difference in the world. And it'd be awesome if I could have your help and you were on board too. But I recognise that some people want to get involved, but maybe they're not ready for this, or maybe they're not able to do the things that they want to do right now for whatever reason, and that's fine, that's totally fine. You can still get involved, and I want to talk you through a few different ways that you can get involved on a ground level every day, because all the little changes are going to make a massive difference to our world. So let me talk you through a couple of things that you can do. The first is to educate yourself, and that's where I started. You need to educate yourself. When you put your rubbish into the landfill, what happens to it? When you put it in the bin, what happens to it first and foremost? And then when it's in landfill, what happens to it? Does it biodegrade? Does it break down? Or does it sit there forevermore? Are we literally filling our landfill sites to the point where they're going to reach capacity, and then it's going to have to expand and expand and expand? And are we going to end up living on our waste because there's nowhere for it to go? Is that what's going to happen? Educate yourself, find out about this stuff. It's important, it's really important. And think about the oceans. When you put something on the floor, does it end up in our waterways in some way? Does that end up in the sea? Does that end up then in the oceans? What happens in the oceans is there's something called a gyre, which is basically like, imagine your toilet, right? When you flush it, it goes round and round and round, doesn't it? And everything's concentrated in the middle. Well, a gyre's like that. It's like the ocean currents going round and round and round, where everything is concentrated in the middle. And we've got, I think there's 11 gyres in the world, but there's 5 main ones, and the big one that most people know about is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And you might not live near the sea or the ocean, but rest assured, anything that ends up on the floor or in the waterways is going to end up in one of those gyres. It will. That's what happens. There's no getting away from it. So educate yourself, know what happens to your litter, ask the questions. If you don't know, ask the questions, find out. Because when you educate yourself, you'll make better choices. And when you make better choices, that's when you can make a difference. So educate yourself, then educate those around you. I went out on a walk recently. I walk around a local field every day, and the field belongs to a school. At the end of the school day, there was so much plastic waste on the floor, and I was really upset actually. And I came home and I emailed the head teacher and I said, what are you doing about the litter situation at your school? And do you know what? I've not heard a thing from her. That was 2 weeks ago. We have a responsibility to educate ourselves, but also educate other people. Educate your kids. Your kids are the future. If your kids are dropping litter, they may not drop litter with you, but when they've got peer pressure going on, are they dropping litter? Be responsible. Educate other people too. This stuff is important. The third thing is, this single-use plastic, it's everywhere. Refuse it. If you can, refuse it. Specifically supermarkets, right? How many times do you go to the supermarket and everything that you buy is wrapped in plastic? Raise awareness around it. Let people know that you're not going to take that. You might want to write to or email or send a message on social media to the supermarkets. Let them know that you're not prepared to accept all this plastic waste. Let them know that they are responsible for that waste and that you're not. Often I hear about people unwrapping all of their groceries, all the fresh stuff, and then sending the packaging back to the company to say, you dispose of it, it's your responsibility to dispose of that responsibly. So refuse that single-use plastic and let them know that you're not going to have it. You're not going to let them get away with causing so much pollution. The fourth thing is about choosing alternatives. So rather than having a plastic bottle, get yourself a stainless steel bottle or a glass bottle, because they can be recycled. And instead of using plastic bags, take yourself some of those really robust shopping bags with you, you know, the recyclable ones. Make sure that you carry those with you all the time. We don't need plastic in our lives. We don't need it. So choose alternatives. It's important to choose alternatives. And another key point is pick up litter when you see it. It's not somebody else's responsibility. It's our responsibility as a planet. Our responsibility to do something about it. If you see it, pick it up. It doesn't matter whose it is. And then dispose of it responsibly. Another really big and important one is about countries' leadership. So vote for those that support the environment and sustainability. Find out what they stand for. Make sure you're voting for those people that are going to really make a difference, that are driven to make a difference in that area. Together we can all make a change. On our own it's quite difficult, but if we can vote in the people that are going to speak up for us, and then we let them know about the issues that are going on and the things that you feel strongly about, voice that to them. Let them know that you're not going to take this anymore and you want something to be done. Together we can make a change on that. And it's about voting in the people that will speak up for us, because we all have a voice, but sometimes we need to get that voice heard on a much bigger level. And that's what I'm doing in the oceans. Those animals, they don't have a voice, and it's my responsibility to help them to clean up their home. It's their home that we're polluting, you know. So if we can speak up for those that don't have a voice, or if you can make your voice heard, that's when we're going to affect change. Another couple of things is to limit the pesticides and encourage organic farming with eco-friendly pesticides, because what happens is the pesticides, they run off of the fields and they get into the waterways, and when they're in the waterways it's a pollutant, and it's polluting and killing our sea life. So make sure you support that organic, eco-friendly farming. It's little things like this that make a huge difference. And lastly, one last thing to finish on, cleanups. There are so many cleanups going on in your local area, whether you live near a beach or not. It might be cleaning up canals, rivers, any sort of waterways. It might be cleaning up school fields, for instance. There are cleanups going on everywhere. Find out about them, get involved, get stuck in, help people to make a difference. Together we can make that difference. Okay, as you can probably gather, this is something very emotional for me, and I believe that we can make a difference. But to make a difference, we need to pull together. So I'm asking for your help. I'm on a mission. I want to raise 100 million to clean up the oceans. If you know of any change makers, or if you are a change maker, get in touch with me. We need to have a conversation. We need to see what we can do together. We want to look at how we can create this ripple together. So please be in touch. You'll know how to get hold of me. My details are everywhere. I'll also put a link in the box below for how we can work together, you know, the 6-month project that I said that I would take you on to 3 different countries. I'll put the details in the box below, and if it's of interest, then get in touch. We'll have a conversation. Another thing is, rather than sharing those videos of one animal being saved, this is a call to action for you. This is for you to think, I'm not going to share that one video that makes us all feel good. I'm going to share things that actually make a difference. Let's use social media for good. Let's use it for healing. I want you to, or I invite you to, share this video. Share this video with your family and friends. Let them know what's going on in the world. Let them know that you can make a difference. I invite you to share videos like this, not the ones that make you feel good. It's an invitation for you. I want you to share this video. And if you feel like you want to make a difference but you're not quite sure how, it starts at home. If you're not one of these change makers that's thinking, yeah, I want to make a massive difference, but you want to make a little bit of a difference, you can. It starts at home, and it starts today. It really does. It starts with the little things. The little things save lives. The little things save lives. Thank you. Thank you for watching. We'll speak soon. Bye for now.